Good morning, everyone. It's Natural Scotland Week this week, and I'm so glad that you can join us today for a story and a wee lesson about how beautiful Scotland's nature is. Scotland has lots and lots of beautiful nature, and it's all around us. We need to connect with our nature because if we connect with nature, we care more, and we need to look after our beautiful nature. Here's what we'd like you to do this week after this story. We're having a competition about land art, and that's art made with pieces of things that you find in nature, not things that you pick, but pieces of things like leaves that are fallen on the ground, or like that piece of ivy in a photograph on the slide right now. Things that have already fallen on the ground that you can make into a picture of your own, one that shows how nature means happiness to you. You can, if you do this, you can send them to us at our email address, ecoschools@keepscotlandbeautiful.org. And we'd love to see them and share them and have a look at which ones you think are the best ones. Now, if you don't already have them, please have a piece of paper and some pencils or crayons ready for after the story, because Sally is going to show us some drawing, and we think you might like to participate too. But today, we're very lucky to welcome Sally Anne Garland, who is going to read her book, The Chalk Garden, for us today. A huge thank you to Sally Anne for joining us today, and to our friends from the Scottish Book Trust for making this workshop happen. Sally, would you like to take control of the slides
Yes,
and tell us your beautiful story?
I will. So hello, obviously my name's Sally Garland and I'm an illustrator and an author. And that means I not only write the book, but I also draw the pictures. And I thought it would be good just to start with reading my story. And it's here, The Chalk Garden. So, wait a minute. Okay, The Chalk Garden. Emma's garden didn't have any trees, grass, or flowers, only grey concrete pavement. She could hear the birds tweet and whistle next door, but they never came over to visit. Emma tried to make her family's new backyard colourful and green by drawing flowers and trees with her sidewalk chalk, but still the birds never came. Instead, only a rain shower came, taking with it all of Emma's beautiful chalk drawings and leaving the garden grey again. The birds will never visit now, she thought. Then something caught her eye. A few blades of grass were poking up through a crack in the pavement. When Emma stood on the crack, it wobbled. "Look, Dad," said Emma. "Let me move it away," he said, lifting the slab. Underneath was a square patch of flattened soil. It smelt like rusty metal and was full of tiny stones and white squashed roots. As Emma peered closer, she saw some of the roots wiggling. Worms were living there, and other creatures too. Day after day, Emma watched the centipedes, slugs, and beetles burrow in the earth, making it move with life and air. Soon, gentle winds came and blew lots of tiny seeds into the garden. They settled on a little patch. Emma noticed that the soil changed colour on rainy days and sunny days. When it didn't rain for a while, she watered the soil to make it dark again. Slowly she noticed something colourful pushing through. Bright green shoots were growing from the seeds. Among them, busy ants scuttled to guard their queen. Spiders span webs to trap bothersome mosquitoes, and ladybugs stopped aphids from eating the fresh shoots. The garden was full of life, but still, no birds. All summer long, the green shoots grew bigger until they flowered in the warmth of the sun. Butterflies fluttered in a drink. Butterflies fluttered to drink from the daisies. Bumblebees hovered, collecting pollen from the zinnias. Before long, the little garden was so bursting with life, Emma's dad had to take away even more slabs to give it room to grow. While he worked, Emma made a bird bath from an old bowl, a bird feeder from half a coconut, and a bird's nest from a spare sock. And then one day, while she was busy drawing, she heard a high, sweet song so close it made her heart skip. A bird had come to visit Emma's chalk garden at last. So there you go, and there you can see Emma, and she's got all her lovely drawings that she's been drawing that day. And she sort of reminds me of me when I was little, and I used to love drawing nature. And I particularly liked sort of drawing from nature books and copying the drawings. And there was one book which was a favourite of mine, and it was given to me by my granny and granddad, and it was called The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And it's a beautiful book. It's written by a lady called Edith Holden, and she used to sort of go out every day and look at nature and draw it. And I'll show you some of the fantastic drawings that she used to do. I don't know if you can see. So beautiful, aren't they? And butterflies. And what I thought was so amazing was that she did this without any phones or photography, and she did this from real life, from going outside and seeing it. And that was something that I always wanted to do. So I thought what I might do is show you. I thought I might go out and try and draw from real life. And unlike Edith, I don't live near the countryside. I actually live in a city called Glasgow. You probably know it well. So you'd think there'd be no nature, but it's actually surprising how much nature you can find in a city. So this is a little video, and I'm going to press it. And this is me outside. I wonder if you can guess what I am drawing. And very soon, I'm pretty sure you'll guess quite quickly just by what creature am I drawing here? He's got a curly, curly shell, and I'll give you another clue. He moves slowly, and that's me. I'm just trying to draw all the details. And the good thing is, you sort of you not only learn how it looks and what size it is and the colours of whatever you're drawing, like if you're drawing a BBC, you also learn other things like where it lives, how it does it move fast or slow. So you learn lots more when you draw things from real life. And that's me putting the details. And there you go. There's our wee snail. And he was in my garden, quite happy. And then, so I'll show you my notebook too, because I not only, I thought that was quite nice drawing outside. So I'll show you a few more drawings. And this is some plants. And I'll show you something else. That's the snail again. And a good thing to do if you are drawing out is get one of these notebooks, because they have a ring binder, and that makes it easy if you're outside to sort of change that, you're not fighting with the pages, so it's easy to just pull them over. And this drawing was, I started drawing a little, it was a poppy really, in my garden. And what I discovered Instead of looking for insects, if you sit down and you're very still and quiet, you'll be surprised how many insects and small creatures come your way. So it's a really good way of learning how to be with nature, because when you're drawing outside, you learn how to be still and quiet and to be careful where you're putting your feet so you don't trample on anything. So it's a very good way, even if you're not drawing, just to be with nature. And this was actually a little wasp that came. So you have to be careful. Anything that's stripy, you've got to pay give it respect. But he was called, I found out, an Ashley mining bee. He was sort of orange, so I drew him. So I don't know if you can see. Maybe it's better if I put it under there. There you are. That's better, isn't it? You can see the drawings there. And I thought what would be quite nice, because there's other places too you can find creatures, not just if you sit beside plants, but also if you look under things. And there is, you know, if you look under stones, or in my case, I was lucky to find an actual wobbly pavement, a bit like Emma in my story. So here's a little video, so if you'd like to watch. So I lifted this up. So remember, if you're doing this, you maybe need a grown up. You've got to be careful. See what you can see there. I can see a slug, but if you look, you see all the other wee creatures. You can hear the traffic in the background. They're all running away, I think, because they think I might hurt them, or they just want to go into the dark. And there's some more here. They're all scuttling away. And I was wondering if you know what the name of these wee creatures are called. They've actually got lots of names, apparently. They've got, I think, about 200 names in Britain. And I wonder if you know what they're called. They're called a woodlouse, but they've got other names too, like they have names like Chiggywig, which I thought was quite a funny name, Grunny Grunter, Monkey Pea, that's a good name. But in Scotland, we have a name for them, we have a nickname, and we call them slaters. So you've probably heard of that, a slater. So here's a picture of one of them close up. And I thought it might be nice if we all draw it together, a bit like if we're Edith, like the Edwardian country lady, and we're drawing outside. So you need to get your paper ready, and I've got my pencils. I've got a grey one, and I've got a brown one, and might need a bit of yellow. If you look at the colours, just look at the colours. So they're quite natural colours, aren't they? Sort of stony colours. There's a lighter grey. So when you're drawing something, it's a good idea to look at it first and see if you can see any shapes. Like if you look at this one, there's actually a big oval shape, isn't there? So that's a really good place to start. So when I start, hopefully you can see me. Right, so even if you just do like, just draw a nice big oval shape like that. My line's all shaky, but that doesn't matter. And then maybe look at your picture again and see if you can tell where's the head and where's the tail. I think the head's here, just this bit here. And the reason why I think that is because he's got these things here, antennae, hasn't he? And if we look at the shape of the head, it's just like another kind of oval, more like an oblong shape, and it's quite small. So if we just do that, and then maybe you should try and do the antennae. And if you see this, they're kind of always in segments, antennae. So if we do a little, two wee bumps here, like that. And then there's another bit, isn't there, here? And just keep looking at the picture as well as what I'm drawing. Might be better. There you go. And there we are. And he's got his antennae. Got quite long antennae, hasn't he? And then at the other side, just here, is his tail. And there seems to be three bits, isn't there? There's a sort of bumpy bit here and two spiky bits. So I'll try and move this a wee bit so you can see it more. It's a little bit, I've done it too big, haven't I? Right, there we go. So the tail is sort of like this sort of shape, isn't it? And there, and these wee spiky bits. And then when we look, what is a real characteristic of this later or a woodlice is these segments here. And they're like stripes, aren't they? So if we start drawing that, so if we just draw it in a sort of like a curvy line, like that, one, I think there's about 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this one kind of goes like this, doesn't it? It goes the opposite way. It's like this. And then there are some more stripes, and they're sort of more like this, closer together, aren't they? It's more like leading up to his tail. Okay. So also when we look at it, it seems to have a sort of frilly edge there. So a way you could draw that, if you watch me, you just take your pencil just there, and see if you can see it, and there, and you sort of join it up, and that gives it that sort of bumpy, frilly edge. And this just gives you the basic shape, and you can sort of draw over it. I think I've given that. And do the same on the other side. Just do that. There you are. You kind of get it. And then here it seems to be, to do some stripes kind of coming down like this, and it's like almost like spikes it has, hasn't it? Sort of coming down here. And I always think they look like almost prehistoric, don't they? They look like they come from the dinosaur times. I think I've seen fossils with them in it. There you go. There we are. And of course, it has legs. So you can just see, actually, I can only see 3 on this, but I think it has more than that. So you can maybe take artistic license and draw. I think it has 6, could be wrong. There we go. And again, it's always in sort of segments, isn't it? It's sort of like, and there you go. So there you have the outline, and you might want to then maybe put more detail in. It's kind of got a bit like this. It's more like that. And start adding detail. And you can even start colouring it in. And you don't have to just do it all the nice natural browns and colours it is. You could even maybe use your imagination, make a rainbow one, or a glittery one, or a gold and silver, whatever you want to do, because it's actually quite a nice shape. It's quite a nice pattern, isn't it? And why do you think that they're so dull? Why do they need to be so brown? Why do you think that is? Maybe you can tell your teacher what you think why the reason is for that. And now I'm going to colour them in. So I thought I'm going to try and do it in a natural way. So to start with, the main colour is the brown, isn't it? You can sort of see here. Got a lovely pattern actually, and just brown here. So I'm going to gently, I think I'll use, yeah, brown. So just scribble it in like this. I might use a bit of my, there. So we just colour it in like that. And this is called shading, which I use quite a lot. And when you do this, this starts making it look really, really realistic. So if you all sit and busy colour it in, and you've got a very dark coloured head, hasn't he? Yeah. Yeah, mine's a bit not exactly like the photo, but that doesn't matter. Like that. You start putting all this sort of shading in. Can you see? It's starting to, and of course yours will be a lot better than mine, I'm sure. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing them. There we are. Let me just keep colouring in. I'll keep going as fast as I can because it might be that you don't finish your picture just now and you can finish it later. There you go. And this is and now you know how to sort of draw, how to start to draw some insects. Um, and you can do lots of things with this drawing. You could maybe draw some more insects, maybe start with some plants, a wee bit like the Edwardian lady, Edith Holden, and keep a diary. So you can be like a scientist almost. A lot of naturalists and scientists can draw really well as well. And it's a way of recording what they see, and maybe even write the date that you saw it and see if you can find out the name. So it's like being a scientist. Or you could be like me, maybe create a story using this drawing, because I think he looks a bit like a giant monster. Well, my drawing's really big, so it's like a giant. I wonder if I can pull that up. Yeah, there you go. A giant monster. So you could say like attack of the I don't know, like giant Chiggywig, because I think the names are quite good. Or you could write a story about maybe a slater that didn't like being dull and boring and you wanted to be colourful. So that's another. And you could maybe do some nice picture book covers like I've done here and do the title and then maybe write the story. But whatever it is, even if your drawing's rubbish, it's just really nice to go out and try and draw in nature, because I can guarantee you'll learn a lot more than you would from a photo. Okay? There you go. I'll keep colouring. See if I can finish it. There.
That was fun. Thank you.
You're
Here's
welcome.
my drawing of a. Oh, you can see it. There you go.
Actually, it's a
Here's
lot better than mine.
my slater. It looks good. I didn't have the right colors, so I just used a pen so you could see it on the camera. But there's my slater. It's not great, but it was fun to do anyway. And I learned something from drawing it, just like you were saying. I always thought slaters were smooth on the edges, but you can see clearly from this drawing that they have little segments, like you were saying, they have little bumps along the side. And I don't think I've ever looked at a slater quite as close as this before. I just assumed they were round and smooth. So what you were saying about sitting quietly and looking at nature, you'll always learn something, is true, because I learned today that slaters have little bumps on the sides. Yeah, that and I also got a really good look at its little antennae as well. It's very cool. So thank you for that. It's a nice piece of mindfulness to sit and do some drawing. So we would love to see your drawings of slaters or anything really. I mean, if you have time this week to go out into your school garden, and maybe draw a flower or an earthworm, or if you want to find a slater of your own, or if you want to finish your drawing that you've just done just now, we would love to see them. Please, if you can, send them to us at ecoschools@keepscotlandbeautiful.org, or you can find us on most social media platforms at KSB Scotland, and you can share them with us there. You can also share them with Sally, and her Twitter handle is there as well. Obviously, if we get some that aren't shared with you, Sally, we will definitely share them with you. But if you want to share them directly with Sally, or if you have any questions about her books or what she does, that is how you can reach her there.
Oh, that would be lovely. I'd love to see that.
Thank you for your story today and for your lovely drawing, and for telling us about all the ways that we can attract wildlife to our own gardens, and how important it is to sit and be mindful and have a look at what's all around us. Thank you, Sally. That was brilliant. And thank you to everyone who was able to join us today. Please do send us your drawings, or if you have a chance to do the land art, we would love to see that too. But as always, that's all we have time for today. So bye for now.